They never noticed the exact moment something inside me gave out, but I did. It was somewhere between the laughter that echoed too long at my expense and the empty quiet that settled in when I stood up from the dinner table. Her family had always been skilled at cloaking cruelty in clever jokes, smiling behind crystal glasses of wine, and exchanging smug glances that cut deeper than words ever could. But that night it wasn't just them. That night, even she laughed. My wife. Later, when I pulled her aside in the kitchen, hoping for some small defense, something that showed I mattered, she didn't even meet my eyes. She just folded her arms across her chest, her wedding ring catching the yellow glow of the overhead light. You have two choices, she said flatly. Say sorry or go. I gave a slow nod. Then I left. I didn't take much, just enough to pass through the airport without questions. A carry-on bag, a hoodie, my passport. I booked a one-way flight to a place where the world forgets people. They didn't call. Not that night. Not the next morning. Not for weeks. And that silence, that deliberate, indifferent silence, was all the confirmation I needed. We used to be perfect. Or at least I wanted to believe we were. Candlelit dinners, soft music humming in the background, whispered promises shared under blankets in the dark. I loved her like a man loves his future, like everything depended on her. But the cracks had always been there. Her family never liked me, said I was too reserved, too analytical, too intense. Her brother once told me I was too calculated. As though self-control was a character flaw. They saw me as an intruder, pretending to belong in their golden girl's world. She never stood up for me, not once. I told myself she was caught between loyalties, that expecting her to take sides wasn't fair. But in the end she did choose. Just not me. The reunion was the last straw. Her father made another smug jab at my job. Still working off that little laptop of yours? Her sister piled on, joking that I wasn't really part of the family, not until we had a baby. I turned to my wife, searching for something, solidarity, anger, anything, but she just sipped her wine and stared at the table. That silence was louder than anything else that night. I didn't raise my voice, just said a few words, about respect, about dignity. But by the time I stood and walked away, it was already decided. I was the villain in their story. And villains don't get apologies. They get erased. The first month away, I went completely off the grid. No updates. No messages. No posts. I let them assume I was shattered, couch surfing, wallowing in some apartment somewhere. They didn't know I was building. You see, I'd created our digital life. Everything from cloud storage to synced calendars. Convenience once. But now, it was a blueprint for retribution. I had access to it all. Her passwords. Her family's shared accounts. Backups. Messages. I read. I watched. I waited. What I found was more than mockery or gossip. There were receipts, literal ones. Hotel bookings under false names. Weekend business trips that were anything but. Transfers of money late at night. Sent quietly from her father to hide what he later referred to as her mistake. And they all knew. Her sister. Her mother. They hadn't turned cold because I confronted them. They froze me out because I knew too little. That changed. By the third month, I was back in the same city, living under a different name, renting a short-term place just far enough to stay invisible, just close enough to observe. I followed their rhythms, when they met, where they dined, what events they attended. I waited for the perfect opportunity. And it came, a gala. A public charity event hosted by her father's company. Dignitaries. Press. The whole city watching. I didn't feel rage. Not by then. Just focus. I organized everything. The documents. The screenshots. The bank records. Every dirty secret they'd buried beneath wealth and appearances. I formatted it all into a presentation. Precise, irrefutable. The night of the event, I arrived in a tailored black suit. I blended easily. Just another donor, another face. No one recognized me. They were too busy posing, too busy basking in polished lies. Until the screens came alive. There was no introduction. Just silence. Then the first image. Her and the coworker, timestamp, geotagged. Another slide, messages, mocking texts, stolen moments. Her father's transfers. Her sister's cruel laughter in chat threads. Each slide slower than the last, like a piano descending scale by scale into something ugly and undeniable. Gasps. Whispers. The click of cameras, this time not for glamour, but for scandal. Then her eyes met mine across the room. Pale. Hollow. Her lips moved, but no sound followed. Too late. The fallout was immediate. Her father's company was audited. He resigned. Her mother vanished from her regular brunch circles. Her sister's fiancé broke it off. The co-worker lost his job. And as for her, she tried to reach me. Once. I didn't answer. There's no joy in shouting. No justice in a scene. But there is power in stillness. In patience. In setting a trap so precisely that it collapses exactly the way you intended. They called me cruel. Said I was vindictive. No one called me wrong. Now I sit in a quiet cafe oceans away. A new name. A fresh passport. I don't miss the noise. Or the chaos. Or her. People think revenge is fire, hot, angry, wild. But that's not true. Revenge is cold. It waits. It sharpens in shadow. And when it comes, it doesn't burn. It freezes.